Coach, good morning. How are you?
What's going on, Jordy? How you all doing this morning?
Doing good, man. It is. I know your life has been a whirlwind over the last 72 hours. Can you wrap it up for me? What has life been like for you over the last couple of days?
Man, just tying up loose ends at LSU. Phone hasn't stopped ringing. Family, you know what I mean? Dealing with my
Sure.
wife and kids and trying to get a flight here and trying to start work here, and it just hasn't stopped. You know
Seems
what
a
I
lot
mean?
easier
So
to
it's
stay.
it's fun. It's fun, but it hasn't stopped.
How difficult of a decision?
Very difficult.
Yeah.
It came down to the last hour. Put it like that. Like it
Yeah.
was very, very difficult just because the relationship with those guys in the room, and I've got so much respect for Coach Kelly and what he's doing there. And those two parts made it very hard because I truly believe in what Coach is doing, and he's a good man, and he believed in me, gave me an opportunity, brought a West Coast guy to the South, and never micromanaged me and just allowed me to be me and never judged. And I couldn't say more about that. And then to have those players like I know kids were like, Mason, those guys have had different D line coaches, and I wanted to be a consistent part in their lives, and that's what made it tough. And then the Deshaun Womax and Jackson Howards of the world, guys, those guys became like my children, recruiting them for 2 or 3 years. So it came down to the last hour, like for real.
What was your exit meeting like with Coach Kelly? I know you have a ton of respect for him, and vice versa.
Oh, oh man, it was tough, man. It was tough, but he understood, and he understood that it was just me and him, and he came to my office, and we just had a great conversation. But he understood where I was coming from. It just the stars aligned with Coach Payton, new ownership, Denver Broncos, living in Denver, on
Mm-hmm.
the front end of everything. It just kind of stars aligned. So he was really excited for me. He wanted me to stay, but he was really excited for me. I think when you have a boss that's excited for you, not upset at you, it makes it easier.
Tell me about the room you leave behind. Jacoby and Guillory had an emotional press conference meeting with the media on Saturday when he caught the news that you were moving on. There was obviously a special connection between you and those guys.
Yeah, man. That Saturday meeting when I told them right before practice that was tough. Obviously, I shedded a tear, and some of the guys were crying, but it was an intimate conversation, and it was a heart feeling that came straight from the heart. The conversation, and I've poured into these kids every single day since I've set
Mm-hmm.
foot in Baton Rouge, and I think they bought into it, and we became closer and closer. But it was an intimate conversation. Then when I went out on the field, it's like wildfire
Yeah.
in the locker room. So I get out to the locker, I'll get out in the field, and all the players are coming up to me and give me hugs, tell me congratulations. Greg Brooks yelled at me. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "Greg, I had to tell the D line first." You know what I mean? Like, I, I
Had to
couldn't
tell
walk to
Coach
the
Kelly.
DB room.
You're on the list.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, Greg. I was gonna get to you. And then Harold comes up to me like, "Man, what are you doing?" I'm like,
Oh,
you guys know how Harold talks.
Yeah,
So,
right. We'll be drafting you
then
in 2 years.
yes, don't you worry about that. And then, after practice was the tough part because I
Yeah.
mean, we probably had our best practice. Those boys were rolling. After practice, the last break, and Tank came over and hugged me and started crying, and it was tough.
Yeah. Coach, LSU's got a lot of momentum right now. Did y'all feel that in the building? I mean, there's a lot of people with high expectation for the Tigers next season.
Yeah, I think. Well, obviously. I mean, especially coming off that 10-4 season, like you can feel the energy in the room. You can feel in the building. You can feel the expectations. It's just a sense of urgency to get some stuff done around there this year. And man, I have high hopes, and I want to be part of the train. Like that was another part of it. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like
absolutely.
you want you want to be part of the train. Like, dude, you put 18 years into college, and
Hmm.
to see you finally have a team that can make a run, a legit run, and you walk away from it like, boy. But I'll
Yeah.
be so happy once they make their run.
So you jump off of a train that is riding a ton of momentum, which feels like towards a successful season, onto another train in the NFL that is heading down the same path. The Denver Broncos feel like their stock is on the rise. What an exciting time to be a part of what Coach Payton has going on. How did this all come about?
Me and Vance Joseph just has a really good relationship. That's the defensive coordinator, and just been knowing him since I was at Arizona State, and he was at the university. He was at Arizona Cardinals, and just talking, and gave me a call actually when I was on spring break, and asked me if I'd be interested in the specialty position. And we had a long talk, and I was like, yeah, I mean, it's worth a try. And at first I was like, yeah, and then I thought about it, and I was just like, no. I was actually in Arizona on spring break, and he was in Arizona, and he called me. It was crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm in Chandler. He's like, I'm in Scottsdale. I was like, that's crazy. But anyways,
like a tea time.
yeah. So he and I talked, and at first I wasn't interested. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so I called Coach Kelly and, the proper people. They said, man, you might want to take a look. I mean, that sounds like a good deal. And my wife said, man, you might want to take a look. So, catching the flight, coming down there and seeing it, and just kind of felt right. And met with Sean Payton, the general manager, everybody. And it just felt good. You walk in the building and you just like, oh, I belong.
Yeah.
I never had that. I had that feeling from the minute I stepped foot in the building. So it was good. And then meeting with the defensive staff, the energy in that room, and seeing that I can add to it. And, the staff texted me after I left, like, hey, you're going to come be a part. You're going to come be a part. And everybody was super cool. And they wanted me, not say I wasn't wanted at LSU, but to hear those guys on that staff at Denver texting me, talking about, hey, we want you to come help us out, come help us build. So that was good. And then, after it got announced, to hear a couple of the Broncos who I've coached call me, like, so excited. So that was cool.
Got to be a cool time for Nick Benito, the former standout at Oklahoma.
Yeah, man, Nick is my boy, man. He one of the first phone calls I got was from him and his dad Vince, and they were so excited. So I'm like, all right, Nick, we gotta get to work now. You know how we get down. So he started laughing. Like, yeah, I know what's coming. So it was.
What do you expect from Mason Smith this season?
He's so ready. He's chomping at the bit, man. He's so ready. So I just think it's going to be a really good group, man. Collective group. There's depth in there. There's strength in there. There's some youth that is developing. I think it's going to be a really good group, man. Between, there's going to be guys like Quincy Wiggins who's going to surprise the hell out of all you guys. That's super developing. There's going to be a guy take away the top names, but like a Jordan Jefferson or a Tank that are going to be really good. Like, it's going to be a fun group. And Savion finally is coming into his own. Like, don't worry about the big names. Like, it's the other ones that are going to surprise the hell out of you. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. So that's what I'm excited about.
That's great to hear. Bro, you left a mark on Baton Rouge in 1 year, man. Excited for what's going on in your life and the time that you were here, the friendship that we were able to gain. I'm looking forward for you to get back down here. We got some crawfish that we're going to boil up, and looking forward to it, man. Go Broncos.
Man, I'm so thankful to cross paths with you guys, man. You've become a really good friend, man, a lifelong friend. BR's become home. My family's still there, and they're just hanging out, and I'll be back and forth, but you guys are family, so I'm thankful.
Enjoy the first day, bro. This has got to be a cool day. First day of school, man. The new kid.
Got my clothes all laid out like the first day, man.
New polo. Didn't sleep last night. Excited, man.
I tried my clothes on and everything last night. Make sure they look good.
Go get them, bro. Proud of you, man. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, homie.
All right,
Broncos country. Let's ride.
There he is, Jamar Cain.